toy.
We're wanted men. I have spoken.
Welcome to episode 149 of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. I'm back, and Jason's back. And then in a couple of months, Jason will be gone. A couple of weeks, Jason will be gone again.
Yeah.
Gotta love summer, man.
Here and there, everywhere.
Nick, how was your week?
My week was great. Can't complain. It was a short week because I had Monday and Tuesday off from work. So a lot of it was just hanging out around the house and thinking about how I need to clean the house and not cleaning the house. And you know how it goes. So now I haven't.
Yeah, we kind of today after we get done recording, I'm going to bust butt on the house. And I'm like, if people are showing up as I'm running a vacuum on Sunday morning, they're just going to have to get over it.
Yeah, well, I have family in town and they don't leave until Friday. So even if I were to clean the house, there's a good chance that the house won't be clean on Friday.
Yeah.
But then, so what we're talking about is the Georgia Alliance of Star Wars Collectors is having its annual summer social this weekend. And so Friday night is dinner as a club. Saturday is the event all day. And then Sunday morning, we're doing another Kennesaw run where Glenn, myself, and Tim Connor, who's another mega collector, we all live within 11 miles of each other. We're just opening up our homes and letting people just, chill and check out new collections and some rad toys. And I'm talking more about Glenn and Tim. They got the rad toys. I mean, Glenn is the premier Bill and Ted collector in the country. And we've got to get our houses ready. And
Yes. Shoot, what was it? So my father-in-law calls my wife because there's a bunch of stuff going on. Like, Mandy's grandma's getting older and she's, they're trying to figure out if she's going to go in a home and, just shit that happens when you're getting older. And so he calls her up like Tuesday morning and is like, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, oh crap. Something big's happening, Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I just want you to watch the dogs for a couple of days. So we had 5 dogs in our house for 2 days. So my house has got furry stuff floating all over the place.
Yeah.
So same. Yeah. Even with 3 dogs and 2 cats, no matter how much I clean the house, it's still going to be come Sunday morning. You're going to be cleaning it up, but I'm trying to get to the point where all I have to do is run a vacuum. But you always sweat because you're like, is how the things look and how do is everything in order and is this out of place or whatever. And I think this year there's a little bit more pressure because I know a lot more people that are coming from out of town, so I have a feeling it'll be a lot more better traveled event this year, at least for the Kennesaw run. So I feel the pressure this year to make sure everything's pretty perfect.
The pressure's getting to you
a little bit.
Bases loaded, 3 outs,
time to hit a grand slam.
2 outs, sorry. If there's 3 outs, the game's over.
Right. Bottom of the 9th, bases
loaded. Bottom of the 9th, Glenn's at bat.
Yeah. So
he swings and he
hopefully hits a grand slam.
There we go. Think positive, sir. Think positive.
Oh, I'm thinking positive. A couple of hours. My number one rule at my house is I try to keep it. I got a half an hour rule, at least in the back of my mind, where if I know people are coming over, I can have it looking decent in a half an hour.
Oh, that's a nice rule to have. I don't have that rule. I have like we need 30 days.
Yeah, I it's not bad. You got to dishes in the sink or run a vacuum or, try to dust. But
yeah, I'm gonna hide
animals.
I decided, like you were saying before, my dog is shedding right now, so there's white fur everywhere. I've decided to hide some of my Black Series, which kind of goes against the philosophy. If you can't display it, then why keep it?
Mm.
But I've also heard there's a practice where, like, if your floor is clean, even if all the shelves in the house are full and, you know, cluttered, if the floor is clean, you feel like it's a clean room.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pack away all my Black Series that are on the floor for now. I'm going to move out my chair just to give more room so people can go up to those cabinets
Mhm.
and check those out. So I've got a plan. I'll be doing that today. Tomorrow I'm going to go out, do some weeding, and I'll be ready. I'm thinking positive. So we're
Yeah.
all
Oh,
fine
yeah.
here
That's
now.
another thing is I got to figure out a day to cut the grass. So
Yeah.
pressure. We were actually, what's funny is we were looking at, you're watching TV and there's an advertisement that comes up, $20 for your first house cleaning. So we kind of looked at it and, it's one of those things where you got to pay $50 a month and you're paying $20 an hour. And I look at my wife and I'm like, truthfully, I'd rather have somebody come cut my grass than clean my house. If I got to pick one, take care of my yard for me.
Yeah.
Because that's a
Yeah.
way bigger chore.
I don't have a green thumb at all. And
Yeah.
I hate it, but it is what it is. I'll just have to deal with it. The plants have a better chance of dying in my garden than thriving. So, but yeah, that's for another day. Let's talk about Star Wars plants. Do you have any Star Wars plants in your house?
Star Wars plants? No, but I do have an R2D2 cutout, like, the things that sit in your lawn cutout in my front yard.
Did you ever get a Chia pet, like an R2D2 or a BB-8, or I think they have Grogu?
I do not. I think my wife has one, but I don't know what character it is because it could be anything that she collects. I think she maybe Chewbacca. I maybe Gizmo. I don't know. But
I had the Homer Simpson one at one point. It's just the greatest like tchotchke ever because you could do something with it.
right.
You grow something, but
You actually
maybe
opened
someday
it
I'll
and
get
used it?
what?
You actually opened it and used it?
Yeah, it was Simpsons. It wasn't Star Wars. So
Okay, cool.
did you pick up anything this week? Oh, first of all, how was the mountains?
The mountains was nice. Yeah, they were fun. It's always interesting when you travel with another couple because my wife and I are up about 7, but I'm normally up by 8:30 at the latest, and they didn't get up till like 10. So you're kind of sitting around twiddling their thumbs till they wake up, and then they've got to get ready, and then it's always afternoon before you start doing stuff, and then by the time you get places, they're closing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of aggravating, but it was fun. Yeah, it was, I guess, as relaxing as it can be.
Did you drink manly beers and chop
I
manly wood and make manly fires?
Yes, I didn't chop wood, but I drank manly beers and smoked manly cigars and watched a fire and
Nice.
got pretty buzzed. My wife is a bad influence on me because I will find a beer. I normally, when I go to a brewery, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, 8%. All right, cool. Let me try that one. And then I had one and one I'm good. And then she's always like, get another one. I'm like, it's 8%. She goes, you're not driving. So that was kind of fun. So and we were playing. You ever play Phase 10?
Yes. Yeah,
So,
it's my
yeah.
wife's favorite game.
Dude, we were playing. Oh, dude, you're in trouble. We're in trouble next time we come over or y'all come over or whatever.
I hate Phase 10 because I'm always losing.
Dude, I was winning, man, because my mother-in-law is like the queen of the game and she's always keeping score and stuff. And my wife was doing that, playing that role. But then me and her, and my two friends, they had no clue what was going on. So I'm like, maybe I'll win. And then we get towards the end of the game. And of course, my friend goes out and he, you only had like one round when you got the whole ton of cards in your hand. And he goes out with like one round. And I got stuck with like 100 points. So I got screwed. And of course, I was buzzing pretty bad by then. So it was, yeah, I didn't really care, but it sucked because I was like, finally, I can win a game. And
I'm always losing. Always
losing.
Without fail.
We did. Yeah. We went up to a flea market, picked up some stuff from this flea market because there's a bunch of flea markets up there. And there's one that my wife likes to go to that I found some good stuff there.
What?
And just kind of hung out. I got my new grill's portable because it'll come off the stand. So I brought that up and we basically cooked everything out there all 4 days we were there.
What would you pick up from the antique store?
I picked up. I got my first mini rig, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one?
The suction cup one where it's got arms and it can stick to the wall and hold somebody in the back of it. I don't know which one it is. I didn't bother looking up. It was $15. It's one of the weirder
suction
looking.
traction.
Yeah.
Suction tractor. We'll call it that.
Yeah, there we go. Somebody's screaming in there. And
Good.
Somebody's screaming at the podcast. And it had a freaking beater snow trooper in it.
Oh, cool.
So for $15 with a beater snow trooper, I was like, that was hard to pass up. And then I got one of the, I guess, an electronic game. It's got red lights on it. It's the typical stereotypical when you see Star Wars, it's this game. I thought they were huge. It's only like 5 inches. That was another thing. It was like $15 and you open the battery pack and everything. It looks like it was never played with.
Oh, nice.
It was played with. It was very, very well loved.
I thought you were going to say open up the battery pack and it's just corroded with acid.
Dude, it was beautiful in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I haven't put batteries in it to see if it works. It takes like 4 AA batteries, which we have a ton of, and I just haven't done it yet. I don't know how to play it because it's one of those old school games where, you remember the old school games where, like with baseball, instead of it being a person, it's a red dot.
Yes.
Yep. It's one of those games.
Yeah.
I have no clue how to play it. And then I picked up some cups, some of the birthday cups. It's the logo or graphic where it's got Boba Fett standing there right next to Darth Vader. I kind of have a run of that going because I've got napkins and I've got plates, and then I found some cups. And then I picked up a puzzle from that place, just one of the cardboard puzzles that it looked like it hadn't been played with, but I think it had been. But it looked really good.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was it. Oh, and I also picked up at the same place, I picked up a Michael J. Fox book. I forgot which one it was, but like Always Looking Up, I think is what it's called. I just happened to be looking up and it's like, hey, Michael J. Fox book for $3. I will buy that.
That's heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy. I was really hoping, I'm looking through it saying be autograph. It wasn't.
Yeah. Did Mandy pick something up off a Deal or No Deal? I thought she threw a bid out for something.
She did. She's getting in trouble on Deal or No Deal. She picked up I think a German or
Ewok set.
Yeah, German play school Ewok, the fire truck or whatever. It was a German different COO. She's making a run on the Spanish little PVC figures. She's making a run on those. She goes after stuff. She's working on her collection right now and was like, you're looking at the Forces of Destiny dolls, and she's like, oh, I don't have the Padme one. And next thing you know, she's ordering one on eBay. So she's it's pretty bad.
Crushing it.
She's crushing it. She goes after stuff.
Maybe she should be in the Georgia Alliance as a leadership role, and you could step back and
yeah,
because she's the one collecting. She's the one actively collecting Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not actively collecting Star Wars. I actually picked up some Masters of the Universe figures because Target had them on like 50% off. So I picked up a Manny Faces and the deluxe Man at Arms and kind of going through that right now. That's the one part I really got to organize because all those are, they're kind of a second thought and you just throw them on a shelf and then before you know it, the shelf's full and it doesn't look good anymore.
Yeah. So yesterday you said you saw Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane at Target, the exclusive 2-pack Black Series.
Yes.
Why didn't you pick it up? What was your hesitation?
I don't like that Cobb Vanth, that the
without
face
the armor.
on that.
Oh,
huh?
just the face. I was thinking.
I'm sorry
that without the armor. I didn't know you meant the face.
Yeah, I don't like the face sculpt on that. It just doesn't look right. I don't know if I think it's the beard just throws it off, and because that's why I never got the armored one. Because first of all, by the time it came through, the pre-order came through on Target, my red card changed and then it canceled on me. And then I've seen it for sale cheaper, and I've just never been a fan of that face sculpt of Timothy Oliphant.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I don't know. Plus, it was like $50, and I'm out of Black Series. It's not like I was and I'm not collecting them anymore.
Yeah.
Unless it's something that I really like, and I already got Bad Kane, Cad Bane. So why would I want, another one, even though I know it's different? But the reason I asked you about that is because somebody was like, oh, they're already going for $100 on the secondary market. And not that I'm a flipper, but it's like, if, and it's what the back of your mind, you're like, is it worth that much? Is it that rare of a thing or is it just people being jerks?
Now look at all of the stuff that's Target exclusives, because I think that's a Target exclusive, just sitting on the store shelves at 50% off this week. Seems like all of the Target exclusives are just sitting there. And it seems like people just aren't buying modern Star Wars like they used to, because I just saw a whole 2 pegs full of the TVC Dark Troopers. You've got all the Indiana Jones stuff that's on clearance. You've got the Gamorrean Guards that's on clearance. So I think any Target exclusive, you're good. I don't think it's that rush.
Yeah. And I think what's going on, and I'm hoping is it does seem like when there's a change in seasons that Star Wars, that Target will just start to discount all their stuff so they can get prepared for the next rush.
Yeah, I struck this week because of that, and I made out greatly.
Did you finally buy the sexy Indy?
No, I haven't found that one in the store yet. But
you want the black series, the 6-inch one though?
Yeah, I did find the Gamorrean Guard, which I've pre-ordered back in December on Target in the app, and I haven't received it yet. And so I've just been waiting for Target to ship mine. But Jordan, who was on last week, said, you probably should get the one that you want, because there's no guarantee the one that they ship you will be in good condition. You might get a bent card. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to hang out and see. But this week it dropped to 50%. So they were $17. And so I quickly ran to Target and I picked one of those up and canceled my pre-order. It's like, I pre-ordered this thing. It's been available in the stores for months.
Right.
Target had every opportunity to send it to me, but I'll just buy it for the discount.
I don't understand what goes on with, because it happens with Hasbro Pulse too. You have the pre-order stuff that just sits there, and then you can go down to the store and buy one.
Yeah. The other thing I don't understand is, like, how does Entertainment Earth get some of the stuff before Hasbro? It's their product. Like, I feel like when things get shipped out, it should be coming first from Hasbro, not from Entertainment Earth.
Maybe the shipment got shipped back to the wrong place from UPS. Because dude, I really thought about picking one of those up.
Yeah, it's the other thing I picked up. So for those that can't see, I'm holding the Marauder, the Micro Galaxy Squadron Marauder, which is awesome because, like, you flap down one wing and both wings flap.
Nice.
So there must be some sort of gear involved. I'm just assisting it, but yeah, I can take my hand off of it and it does close on its own.
That's awesome.
The landing gears, I like how they do landing gears because they kind of flex out from the inside. So they kind of lay across the belly and they kind of fold out. I like the back. It's got the little bed rest for Omega. So Omega can go back there.
Oh, nice.
The front opens up and you could put Wrecker and Omega in the front. The side opens up and that's where you have a couple chairs so you can put the rest of the Bad Batch. The only thing that it's open. Yeah, so it's got a couple seats there so you can play out with your action figures there. The only thing I don't like about this is that Wrecker is too small for the hatch. The hatch doesn't open up to get inside the ship, the door. Wrecker's too small, so that makes me think the ship is scaled down. And I know they've done this for other ships just because of price points and making sure that it fits into the line as they want.
Right.
I just wish that everything was in scale. So you got the Falcon that's slightly smaller, and I think this one's slightly smaller, but I'm really impressed with it. I like the wash. They've really perfected the wash where it doesn't look like it's dirty, but it's not too dirty. Like they tried to make it dirty. So yeah, I'm very happy with this ship.
Is the canopy see-through?
The front one?
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yep, the front is see-through. It's like a red, and then the back is see-through as well. So you could put Omega back there and see her.
Damn it, I might have to go pick that ship up. I saw it and I just didn't. I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying not to spend a whole bunch of money because there's another big old rumor that we hopefully get into here in a minute.
Yep.
So I'm trying to save up for that and
Yep.
not overdo spending because of that. And yeah, that was, but I was looking at that, and speaking of the ship that Hasbro's teasing us, thinking of the Ghost while you're opening that, I'm like, they could do a Ghost real easy at that size, and you don't have to get into it, because that you're just opening up one hatch and you've got a little bit of play area.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be real simple to do that with the Ghost, where you just open up a little one side or the top, and you got play area.
Yeah.
And they could also scale it. I don't know.
Well,
I know people gripe about the scale, and like you said, yes, it's not 100% correct, and like the gauntlet wasn't right. But are you going to pay $50 for a gauntlet versus 20?
yeah. Well, they're working on another version of the gauntlet, but there is a smaller gauntlet, so this does work. It's just they shouldn't have pitched it as Bo-Katan ship, because Bo-Katan ship's not that small. It's the bigger version. But the thing with the Ghost, I did see a schematic of that this week on social media, and it looks like the top, there's 2 floors to it. The top floor is just a hallway.
Right.
The bottom floor is where the kitchen area is, the bedrooms. So it's like, to play with the Ghost, you would need to like remove the top half in a way that the ship doesn't fall apart, just to get to that bottom level. So I'm curious how Jazzwares might pull that off, and how Hasbro would pull that off if they were to take a run at the Ghost.
I mean, I guess you could make like trap doors or something, but on Jazzwares it'd be way too small. But on a TVC line, you could, I guess, make trap doors.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about it, so let's
get
talk
into
about
this.
The Haslab. Was it just this week they released 2 teases?
I think it was last week and this week. It was but yeah, they released a couple of teases on that.
They released an image of a blue kind of readout. It's a LCD screen with Arabic on it, and when people translated it, I don't have the translation here, it's just like mission ready, model ready, presentation ready, and stuff like that.
Right. And it was front turret, back turret, and top turret or something. Yeah.
And then they released a second one, and then you found an image of Kanan at a control panel, and on the panel itself is the image that Hasbro's been using to promote the upcoming Haslab, whatever that may be. So it's a pretty easy jump to make, an easy leap to make, that this is definitely the Ghost. It's a $600 Haslab Ghost.
Yeah, I'm pretty freaking excited about that. There's a lot of people poo-pooing it, but I think they are doing it at the right time. If they were going to do a Ghost, this is the time to do it. Especially
I agree.
With Ahsoka coming out, and then I'm also, I think that means good things for the Ahsoka show, if they're releasing the Ghost in conjunction with that. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of Rebels in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, I would just temper expectations just a little bit, because it could be the Ahsoka version of the Ghost. It might not be the Rebels version of the Ghost.
I would be kind of okay with that, because Ghost, I mean, I don't think it'd be nice to get the figures, but I don't think we're going to get them.
And I would say that the tiers would probably be more in line with Ahsoka than Rebels. So you'd probably get Ahsoka on card. You get Sabine on card, and you get Hera, maybe Chopper. But I would suspect those would be the tiers. I don't think you would get Kanan or Ezra, because they don't seem to be the focus of the promotion so far.
What I would hope is that you would get those 4 characters, and then Ezra and Zeb and Kanan would be one of the tiers.
I hope we get a bunch of rocks to put underneath it. That's what I'm really hoping for. Maybe some foliage, maybe like a palm tree. Cardboard would be great. Maybe like a cardboard pad that we can just put the Ghost on top of.
Yeah.
They've been doing stands, so I would expect with the Haslab for the Razor Crest, it came with the stand. The helicopter will come with the stand. So I would expect the second or third tier to be the stand. I would be disappointed if the first tier is the stand to hold it up to make it look like it's banking.
I from what I've seen or what I think is like at $600, it better come with 4 figures right off the bat.
I think it would come with Hera.
Yeah, it needs to come with at least with Hera and Chopper, and I'd love to see Jason, and I'd love to see Ahsoka and Sabine.
I'm also worried.
You keep forgetting about Jason because you're like, damn it, I hate his name.
I hate his name. That's my name, sir. Just derailed me. I think the thing that I'm worried about is that when they were doing the Razor Crest, Hasbro promised that anybody that's ever interacted with the Razor Crest would be made into an action figure.
And
here we are. We're still waiting for Bill Burr's character to be made into the TVC. All of his crewmates into TVC.
Were they actually on the Razor Crest though?
Yeah, because they used the Razor Crest to sneak into that place and break out the other Twi'lek.
Oh, okay.
So with the Haslab, I'm afraid it won't be made. So if they don't make Kanan a tier, then we're not going to get a Kanan figure.
Okay. I don't think we're, yeah, you're right. I agree with that. If they don't make it, I don't think we're going to get it. We got them in Black Series. It'd be real easy to scale it down, but then they also have the Bill Burr figure that they could scale down. And you haven't seen it.
Zero's the robot.
Yeah. That's another, because they've got it in Black Series. They'd be real easy to scale that down.
Clancy Brown. They never made the Clancy Brown figure. He's the was it Blurg? Who's the devil guy, the muscle?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Clancy Brown from Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob and Shawshank Redemption.
Also, it's kind of harder on those because they were only in Bill Burr showed up again, but those guys were only in
Savage Press. I just thought, oh wait, he's already been in Star Wars. Clancy Brown. He was Savage, Darth Maul's brother.
Exactly.
Anyways, sorry,
but those guys were only in an episode or two, right? So that I could see them arguing that they were only in an episode where Kanan and Ezra, and Zeb were like a whole series.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. I agree with you that it's probably a bad choice to make those figures. However, when Hasbro says we're going to make any character that's interacted as any character that's interacted with the Razor Crest, we're going to make into a figure, and then they don't make it, it's like, just stop with the promises.
Unless they were like from a certain point of view.
Maybe.
They were on the Razor Crest, but only for an episode.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's disappointing. But anyways, I hope for the best with the Razor, the Ghost.
Dude, I'm already like, the minute it announces, I'll be one of the first ones to back it.
$600.
You can't get me to the computer fast enough. I'm already like, because with the summer social, we're doing room sales, so I'm already trying to piece stuff together so I can hopefully help fund the Ghost. But I'm already an emotional wreck just thinking about it. I'm gonna be a basket case when they announce it, and I'll be a basket case when I get it, and I'll be a basket case if it fails.
So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yep. So hopefully the numbers are kind of low because I don't know if you've seen, but Mattel's starting to do crowdfunding stuff too.
They've been doing it for a while. Matty Collector.
Okay.
They've been doing it before Hasbro. I said Haslo because I'm hoping for a low backer number for the Ghost because, like you were saying, poo-pooing it.
Right.
People were poo-pooing the $600. I don't want the Ghost. If you have a $600 vehicle that people are it's a mixed bag with, like with the collector base, like some want it, some don't. It needs to be like 5,000 for 600. It can't be 12,000. If 12,000 people back it at $600, we're going to go forward. It needs to be like 5,000, 8,000 to make this thing cross the finish line.
Right. What was it on the Razor Crest? Do you remember?
Razor Crest was up there. I don't
5,000 or more.
No, 5,000 was the barge for $500.
See,
Razor Crest was more. I think it was 12,000. 10 or 12, 8,000. I don't know. You're looking it up. I'm just throwing numbers out there. As
No,
you do
it's
that.
fine. I'm looking something else up.
Oh, there was supposed to be a new Ahsoka trailer this past week,
I've heard about that.
but it didn't drop because of all of Twitter's problems. Twitter decided to limit the number of tweets a person can see a day to 600. So if you were to drop a trailer and hope for a wide release on Twitter, there's a good chance people won't see it because Twitter is throttling what people can and cannot see. So there's no word when it will drop, but I would assume that somewhere there's a new Ahsoka trailer that's ready to go. They just need the right place to drop it. I don't understand why Facebook and YouTube isn't the place to do that.
Why wouldn't they do it? Or or just go ahead and, I mean, I know you were having your issue with Threads, but just do it on Threads or something. I don't know. Or just don't even bother with the Twitter unless they're thinking that they're not going to get the backing or whatever. I see your face. You're like, I don't enjoy Threads, but I hadn't even messed with Threads. So, but no, I pulled up back to the so I pulled up Mattel is doing a Jurassic Park, the gate to Jurassic Park, and it comes with it looks like it does come with the Explorer, and it's $250, and it's only got 24% funded with 18 days left.
Wow.
And it's a $5,000 target. And I would think if I had the space for it, I'd fund it if I had the space to store it, because it's going to be huge.
The Razor Crest was $6,000 at $350.
Okay. But I'm surprised that this isn't even funded good, because I was looking at it. It looks cool. But, you know, when it gets to 5,000, well, you see, here's the thing is when you get to like these tiers, when the first tier at 5,000, the gates will be automatic. So it's got some kind of sensor in it. When you put the Jeep close, the gates will open up on its own. Then you've got some electric gates with the little boy, the Tim figure. And then you've got, then if you at 8,000, that's at 6,000 is the gate, is the fence. At 8,000 is the T-Rex. And then at 10,000, you get the goat that the T-Rex throws. So, yeah. So
he's gonna eat the goat?
Huh?
He's gonna eat the goat?
He's gonna eat the goat. Oh no. And then they show the leg, the bloody leg on the Explorer. I mean, this is a cool looking toy, but it's a lot of freaking, I don't know. It takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
But if I was in Jurassic Park, if I was a Jurassic Park collector, I would back it. So anywho.
Ahsoka will premiere August 23rd, which is next month.
It's on my daughter's birthday. Should I okay, here's what I've been thinking. Should I do a live, maybe not live, but should I videotape or should I set up my iPad and do a reaction video while I'm watching it? Do people want to see a 47-year-old man cry like a little baby?
People like your heart. So, I mean, there's a good chance people might want to see you specifically, but I think that's a small group of people, like the club. I don't know if people on YouTube would want to see it, but like, yeah, the moment you see the ghost in live action, you're going to be you're going to pause it because you're going to be a wreck.
Watched Jedi Knight and I was a wreck. And then last night, I watched the reaction to Jedi Knight, because everything ends. And then at the next episode, it starts, the cold open is everybody coming back to base. And then Zeb realizing and Chopper realizing that Kanan's gone. And then it's like, oh, I'm another freaking wreck. So, and then
No, go ahead.
And then I'm at Target the other day, and this girl comes up to me and is like, oh, I love your tattoos. So we start talking Rebels, and we both almost start crying because I'm like, how far did you get? She goes, oh yeah, I know Kanan passed. And both of us are just like, oh my God.
Just consoling each other in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's move to the Kleenex aisle.
Yeah. Geez.
So did you watch World Between Worlds again?
I have not gotten that far.
Okay.
I think the next one is like the Wolf in the Door or something.
Okay.
So I'm like right there. I know I'm getting close to World Between Worlds, but I haven't gotten that far.
Okay.
Have you?
No, I haven't rewatched it. I've been watching other things actually.
Yeah. Have you? What have you been watching?
I've just found out that Air is available on Amazon Prime, so I was watching that this morning. But MythBusters is on Max, so I've been watching that.
Yeah, I
I
need to
miss
get back. I've always
MythBusters.
enjoyed MythBusters.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating to watch that first season because it's so it hasn't formed into the show that we know. It's
Mhm.
still trying to find its feet, so it's a little shaky. But when I once I get past it, I know I'll fall back into the groove.
You know, Adam Savage is going to be at Dragon Con.
No, I'm not going to be here. Dang it.
You're like womp womp.
Harrison would love to meet Adam. He loves the Mythbusters too.
Yeah. I
Dang.
keep waiting, dude. I know I keep saying this, but I'm like, Dragon Con is like, hey, we're going to announce a bunch of stuff, and then you don't hear anything for 2 weeks. And then they announce a bunch of characters, and you don't hear anything for 2 weeks. And I'm like, Dragon Con's right down the road, right there. Let's get some more people in there so I can decide if I'm going or not.
I heard some rumblings this week that Marvel is again thinking about its own celebration-like convention and Marvel-only convention outside of D23 and San Diego Comic-Con. So that might be something happening too.
Yeah, well, didn't they? There was a big stink at San Diego Comic-Con that a lot of people were pulling out or not going to be there.
Yep. Marvel, DC is not going to be there. Netflix, Warner Brothers is not going to be there. I mean, Marvel Studios, Marvel Comics will be there, but not Marvel Studios. But Disney's not going to be there, so it's like, what's the point? I guess the point is the comics.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I like going to those. I like Celebration. It's a but yes, it's a lot of fan stuff, but you get to go to like the corporations. Like we got to meet Max at Jazzwares, and they're showing off their new stuff. You get to go see the Hasbro people. And that's why I enjoy going to the bigger conventions, is because you have a lot of the corporate sponsors that are there, and a lot of people don't like that. That's one of the things that people like about Dragon Con is there's no corporate sponsorships. But I'm like, I think if they could do something like that, that it adds an extra level to the convention that is fun. Because it is like it's behind the scenes stuff that you normally don't get to see.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd love to go to San Diego Comic-Con, dude. I think it'd be fun. I'd love to go to any of those big Comic-Cons.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like, I mean, so Celebration was what, 40 to 60,000 people?
Yeah.
Comic-Con is 150,000.
I don't mind being around that many people. I know you kind of are like odd.
Did you say I'm odd?
Huh?
Did you say I'm odd?
No, I said you're like, oh my God.
Yes, both odd and oh my God.
Well, no, dude, I've seen, I've been down to Dragon Con back in the day, right when the parade's getting out, and it's a wall of people on Peachtree Street. And it's from building to building, packed with people on Peachtree Street. And
yeah,
if you're trying to go against that
time.
crowd, it's annoying. Huh?
I can do it. I just need the quiet time.
Right. And
So.
I have noticed that they are starting to do that at conventions. They're starting to have like rooms to people, if you need a quiet space, they're starting to be more accepting, or accepting is not the, or what am accommodating for that. So hopefully that's a good, good direction.
Also this week, I want to say congratulations to Nerd U, because they opened up their first brick and mortar store in Commerce, Georgia. So we've got another toy shop in the area to check out. Yep,
I need to go check it out. The only part that sucks is it's like 2 hours from my house, or an hour and a half from here. Yeah, it's gonna be a haul, but
it's got to be an afternoon.
Yeah. But I think they're right next to a brewery, so it would make a fun afternoon, because you can go get a couple of drinks, go buy some toys, and then come home.
You get the drinks first, then you make mistakes in the shop, and then you come home. But then you've got to sober up, so you have to hang out in the shop.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, man.
So congrats.
Yes.
Congrats to them.
Yep. What else? Any other fun news?
No, that's it for news.
But let me talk. I want to say we kind of talked a little bit last night about this, but the toy or the hobby or whatever, the community, the toy community in Atlanta is becoming crazy, man. It is a good time to be in the Atlanta area for toys as a collector, because it's been a grassroots thing, and I've watched it for the last 10 or 15 years, or actually about 10 years, just kind of bubble and bubble and bubble, and now it's getting ready, it's exploding, and it is a fun thing to watch.
Yep. I came down at the right time because, like you're saying, there's just so many shops, there's so many toy shows. There's a great community of not just Star Wars collectors, but action figure collectors in general. It's like it's just the right conditions at the right place at the right time, and it's all coming together here in Georgia.
Right. Speaking of which, the Powder Springs Toy Show is August 5th, the swap. And then August 19th is our buddy Chris Hamer does Legion Con. That'll be down in Smyrna. And that's a cool show, because that, again, it's at a Legion, and there's a bar right next door. So a bar in the place, so you can go get a couple of beers and then go shop. And it's just fun to hang out all day. I normally don't hang out all day at shows, but that's a show I can hang out all day at, because you could take a break, you go get a beer, get a burger, and then you're right back on the floor. And then of course there's Dragon Con over Labor Day weekend, which it's a fun. It's not fun as a collector, but it's a pop culture, good pop culture place or convention.
Yes. Yeah.
I can. The only reason I say say that again.
I can attest to that personally.
Yeah. The only reason I say it's not fun as a collector is just because it's not really made for toy collecting. It's made for other stuff. So if you're a cosplayer, or if you're looking for, something for your outfit, it's a fun place to do. But yeah, it's fun. It's one of those, or if you're looking for art, it's got some of the best art. They've got a big artist alley. So it's fun. And our buddy Christian will be there painting live. And I need to see that Rebels piece that he's doing.
Christian's gonna be there?
Yeah, he's there every year at Dragon Con. Yeah.
Awesome. Ask him how much it would cost to do an exclusive print. Okay. Does it give you the buddy discount?
I don't know. We'll see.
As a freebie.
It's not gonna be free. But are you wanting to do something for the club?
No.
Oh.
For Rogue Fun.
For Rogue Fun. Yeah, there you go. That'd be fun.
Keep May 4th, 2024 open, people. Details to come.
Yes. Fun weekend here in Atlanta.
Anything else? I've got a brief topic we can hit upon for the next 20 minutes or so.
I think that's all the news. There's not we haven't we haven't done a show in 2 weeks. So that's a lot of catching up, but yeah. I think we're good, man. What is your topic, my friend?
So we've known Star Wars for 46 years.
Yep.
And we've known the special editions for 26 years, which means we're at the point that we've known the special editions longer than we knew life without them. So I thought we'd try to do a subjective review of them now that time has passed. Were some of these changes necessary? Did they enhance the plot? I just don't want the gut reaction to be forget it all. Like I just wanted to have a conversation, be like, maybe that wasn't necessary, maybe that did enhance things. I don't know.
Right.
So, but to be fair to George, he started tinkering his movies right from the start. In 1977 there were 3 different audio versions.
Wow.
Yeah, depending on what mix you got, there was like stereos and monos and all different kinds of things. And so there's subtle dialogue changes. You can go on Wikipedia and they track, like, instead of saying this, he says this and all that stuff. In 1981, for a re-release, 1981, he added episode 4, A New Hope, to the crawl. So it didn't say just Star Wars anymore. It had that. And then in 1993, he started changing color balances. So things were looking a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
So to be fair to him, he's always been tinkering. It's something he's been doing from the start, but things really amped up in 1997 with the release of the special editions. And as we all know, that was a way to prepare for the prequels, to see if this is something I can actually do, add digital creatures into the movie and make it look real. And so I thought I'd just go through the changes. We probably don't need to dwell on the smaller stuff, but the bigger things like Jabba the Hutt being added to the opening scenes and Mos Eisley we can talk about more in detail. But
Yeah.
so yeah, let's go into it. There's a shot of R2D2 traveling down the canyon in A New Hope that was added. Whatever, they changed the color on that. They added a rock at one point to obscure him. Stormtroopers, let's talk about that one. Looking for the droids. They shot 2 new shots for that, and then they spliced it in with what they had with the whole looks are droids scene. Did that add anything? Was that cool looking back on it?
I think it's fine. I don't think it really added or took away from the movie. I'm more concerned with, like you were saying, the bigger stuff like the Jabba and the celebration scene at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Luke's land speed. Yeah, so for me, for that whole scene, I didn't mind it too much. I thought it was cool. I like seeing animated dewbacks more than just statues.
Yeah. Oh, that's the bigger thing is, yeah, they did fix the dewbacks.
And they also added that new ship that looked like the Imperial shuttle in the background. Anyways, moving on.
In the background.
Yeah, in the background of that whole scene, there was like a ship that lands.
Okay.
When it takes off, I think maybe it's one of the two, but it looks like the Imperial shuttle, but it's more of a, I don't know. I have it in Micro Machine form.
Okay, so it's one of those. Let's see how much crap we could put in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is probably most people's complaints with the special editions is that they just added too much and it's just cluttered now.
Right.
Luke's land speeder was higher off the ground, which I appreciated because I always thought that it just looked messy with like the Vaseline underneath it. I know it was mirrors to reflect what was there, but then they also like obscured it post-production. So seeing it higher off the ground and seeing that obscure Vaseline, for the lack of a better word, I appreciated that.
Yeah. No, that's something I would give it as a plus. That, I would be, that needed to be done. So let's go ahead and do it in post. We can fix it.
Ben Kenobi's hut was changed.
Wow. Dude, and it's been, let me just say, so it's been so long since I've seen the non-special editions, because you have to go find a VHS tape at this point.
Yeah.
To watch it, that a lot of the stuff I'm like, wow, it shocks me that they changed.
It's probably easier to Google Ben Kenobi's hut and find it, the real one that they use, which was like by the ocean, than to try to find it in the special edition. I'm sure there's like a side-by-side comparison. I would imagine, because when you look at Kenobi's hut, it's pretty small, but then the interior is pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine they would change it to just match the size and scale of it inside on the outside. But the big one is Mos Eisley Spaceport, walking into that or flying into that with the land speeder. We've got Womp Rats, we've got the Rontos, we've got Dash Rendar's ship. There's that shot where they kind of pull away and you can kind of see all of Tatooine, and Dash Rendar's ship flies off. Mm-hmm. It's just busier. You've got Rontos walking in front of the camera. You've got the scene with the land speeder kind of bucking the Ronto, and the Jawa go flying off of it.
Right.
And yes, and then they had that robot at the start that kind of gets inquired about. There's like an Imperial droid that's like a little bulb, I guess. It flies up to the other droid that's working. Mm-hmm. And the working droid knocks the Imperial droid out of the way, because it's like he's seen that Imperial droid is trying to check out, is this the droid I'm searching for? And the worker droid's just like, get out of my face.
Gotcha. So there again, I think they just tried putting 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag, and if they would have just kept it to 5 pounds of crap, I think we would have been fine with it. I enjoyed seeing more of Mos Eisley, because he didn't get to do it, in the originals. I'm
gonna just speed past here, but I agree with you. It's good, but at the same time, was it necessary? I don't know. I like the expansion. I like that George was thinking bigger and trying to give it a wider scope. But like the Ronto walking in front of the camera and obscuring everything, maybe that was too much.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go to the bigger stuff because it's taking. We've gone 5 minutes.
You're like 20 minutes, and we've been 20 minutes already, and you're like,
yeah. So
Maybe we'll just do a New Hope and come back to the other one. I don't know. Let's see how fast we can get through it.
I can do this faster. Greedo, the whole Greedo shoots first
Dude,
thing.
that was ridiculous.
So George Lucas didn't want Han Solo to be a cold-blooded killer, but I think that's the reason everybody loved him. So it was almost like, George, you don't get it in that scene. People want to see Han be a cold-hearted pirate, because at the end of the movie, he drops that to save the galaxy.
Right.
I mean, that's his whole character arc.
And they're still changing that scene little by little. Every time a new version of the movie comes out, they're doing something to that scene.
It's my understanding that the 2019 version is the final definitive version, because George sold it. He was working on this before he sold it, and this is the final version that he sold to Disney.
Okay. So
no more changes is my understanding to A New Hope or any of the original trilogy.
Gotcha.
The Jabba the Hutt scene. What are your thoughts on adding Jabba to A New Hope?
It kind of adds a little bit to it. I think they could have done without putting maybe Boba. As much as I love Boba Fett, that was sort of I'm going to throw a Boba Fett at the end of this scene. It kind of, or maybe you're just like, well, Boba Fett's been tracing him for so long. It doesn't look good, but I appreciate it. I think they could have done maybe. Well, I think what throws it is Han pointing him at the, in the chest.
It was more him stepping on the tail for me that I was just like, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah. But I mean, they actually shot that with a human Jabba. So, before they had the puppet the technology that they can do a puppet that big, there was a human Jabba. So it's kind of fun to watch the original and see, how they did it. But yeah, no, I agree. It's the pointing at the chest and the walking over the tail that kind of ruins it. And they could have done without those. But if that's the way they shot it originally, I don't think there's any way you could change that.
They probably could have done a digital thing where it's a wide shot, and instead of walking on Jabba's tail, he kind of walks on the front of it. Mm-hmm. It would all have to be CG. You couldn't use any pre-existing material, but that's the way I would have done it, because it just doesn't look good with him stepping on the tail. And why would you step on someone's tail? That just doesn't make sense.
It's Han being Han.
Yeah. I didn't mind Boba Fett being in it. I mind when Boba Fett looks right into the camera right at the end, like he's walking, and then he just looks at the camera and like, "What's up, peeps? I'm here."
Okay, there you go. That's the
issue.
Yeah, that's the issue, not Boba Fett being there. But it's just like in the Jabba's throne room where they added him in, and he's flirting with the girl, and he purposely looks at the camera and like adjusts his helmet, and you're like, oh, there you are.
Yep. Some of the things that he added is the complaints about the prequels is that there's a lot of landing and taking off scenes. Like, is it necessary to see the ships land? So you've got this extended shot of the Falcon flying into Yavin 4 and flying around all of the different planets and the exoplanets. And you've got shots of the X-Wings taking off now. There's that tracking shot where it's coming from the right and it's the left. And you're just watching, from the camera's perspective. It's just like a motionary camera.
That's in a pre-attack. That's like when they're getting ready to attack the Death Star, right?
Yeah, but that's like the complaints about the prequels. It's just a lot of takeoffs and landings.
Yeah, that X-Wing shot has been used so many times since it's happened.
It's like an iconic shot now.
Yeah. Because there's a shot very similar in Rogue One.
Yeah.
To that.
Yes. I didn't mind that shot. I liked the additions and that they sped things up with that, and then the whole like attack on the Death Star. The thing that really bothered me is that they removed some of the matte squares. So when you're filming a movie, you kind of punch out the section that you want to use for the special effects. So if you have an X-Wing against the blue screen, you, instead of taking that whole wide shot, you just kind of take out a square of it. But when you place it into the film itself, you can still see that square. It's a little bit transparent. It's a different color black. They removed some of that, but they didn't remove all of it. And that stuck out to me. And I'm like, why didn't you just do the job? Why didn't you just finish it?
Right. I think the thing, like going back to that X-Wing shot that bothers me the most is you could tell it's CGI. You could tell that the guys in the X-Wing aren't real.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me the most about it.
Yeah. The Death Star explosion has that shockwave now.
I don't mind that. That I think adds to it better more than takes away.
The big thing that I forgot about the cantina, they replaced aliens.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, like the Wolfman wasn't there because George thought that it looked too much like a Wolfman. So they added that worm guy that kind of looks up.
Oh, why would
There's a couple other ones that they
see the
swapped out.
Wolfman's kind of iconic though, man.
Yeah. I'm sure he's still there.
Yeah, he's
The
behind
camera.
huh?
Yeah, I think we're gonna say the same thing. He's behind the camera.
Yeah,
We don't
or
see him.
something. But I mean, that wolf guy, I don't like because that you it loses its nostalgia when you do stuff like that because people are like, oh, the Wolfman, and then the Wolfman's not there, or the dude with the sideburns. Why would you take him? I mean, I know he's still there, but
He's still there.
that you're not going to want to take somebody like that out, or the guy with the space suit, the Earth space suit on. You're not going to want to. You want to leave that crap in because that's what we like.
Yeah.
And we were watching it because it was on TNT this weekend. They were just playing everything, and it was playing out of order, which is kind of annoying. But it's like you're watching it and it's 1970s style, but 2000 or 1990 technology. If that makes sense. Once you start messing with a show, with a movie like that, you lose the 70s nostalgia to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hodgepodge. I think I lost Jason. Hold on. There you are.
Yeah. All right, I'm back. I'm back from the future.
Yes, I said hodgepodge.
There's only a few changes to the Empire Strikes Back that I think is worth talking about. The one is probably one of your. I'm curious about what you think of the Wampa. So in the original version of Empire Strikes Back, you just see the Wampa's arm and leg moving towards Luke. You don't see the creature itself. In the special editions, not only do you see the creature kind of sitting there eating the tauntaun, he comes, attacks Luke, you see the full body, and then once Luke cuts off the arm, you see the whole body just like shaking, and he doesn't have the arm. What are your thoughts on that change?
There again, it's been so long since I've seen the OG version of Empire Strikes Back, that I didn't realize that. And it is. I do enjoy seeing more of the Wampa. I didn't realize you only saw so much of it.
Yeah, the point at the time when the special editions was released, the theory is that when you don't see things on film, it creates more tension. So the fact that the shark didn't work in Jaws and you only saw the fin added in some tension because the terror was in your mind. You were imagining what the shark was and where is it. If you just see the shark everywhere, it kind of takes that tension out. And that goes back to Hitchcock. Hitchcock had that theory, is that the threat is really in your mind. I don't want to show you the threat.
Right.
And so for the Wampa scene, having to remove that and adding that in, I should say, kind of took the threat away in your mind. It wasn't as terrifying.
Have you seen the extended Wampa scene, that the deleted Wampa scene?
Yes, where they're walking around the base. That is
Yeah.
just hysterical because it doesn't work.
Yeah. And R2D2 and C3PO take the warning off, and the stormtroopers go in the room, and the Wampas attack them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, all you see is the arm come out and grab them.
Yep. For Empire Strikes Back, the only other couple things I want to talk about, Cloud City. So Cloud City was very claustrophobic in the original version. All the windows were white. You didn't see outside. With the special edition, they removed those and you could see outside into the clouds. I thought that worked well. I liked how they opened up the city. I also liked, there was one scene in the hallway shot when Lando's coming around a corner. It's a curved hallway, and he looks up. And in the original movie, he's looking up to nothing. But now when he looks up, he's like looking out the window. It's like, that works for me.
Okay. And
what
I know that
about
you got, I like there again. The thing I remember is like they added Cloud City, like going into Cloud City, they put more stuff in there. I think you notice it. I notice it more when they do stuff like that, add shots versus adding to a shot, because you realize there again, it's 1970 technology, and all of a sudden you jump ahead 20 years and they're putting 2023 or 1993 technology into a 40-year-old movie. So that's where it stands out to me more than just them putting
Yeah.
replacing a window.
Yeah, like I said at the start, this is probably more of an exercise to say, can I do this with the prequels? And then I'll, put Star Wars out there and start promoting it again. It's probably more of a marketing tool to put like with Indiana Jones. It's been, 18 years since the last Indiana Jones movie, and it's just not performing as well. So there was no build up to tension. There was no nostalgia. It was just kind of a dead franchise that they're like, here's another one. And people are like, well, I was fine without. There's no hype.
Right. You're talking with
Luke screaming as Indiana Jones.
Right. No, but you're
for
talking Crystal Skull versus the new one, or
Dial of Destiny's kind of not performing as well. It's a $300 million movie and it made $82 million.
Gotcha.
For the prequels, episode 1 came out in 99. Star Wars, the special editions came out in 97. And so this was more of a marketing tool to build up to the prequels, to get people excited about Star Wars, to introduce them to the new technology. But it was probably George also wanted to tinker with things.
Right. Well, I remember when they came out, because it was like, oh crap, Star Wars is back in theaters.
Yeah.
And that was the big draw for that, is you had a chance to see Star Wars for a whole, because their whole marketing plan was like, this is the, for 40 years, this is the only, or for generations, this is the only way you could see Star Wars, and it's a TV. And then all of a sudden it blows up, and it's like, now, boom, and, you get the music, and it's dramatic, and now you could see it in theaters, the new special edition. So yeah, you're right. It was a marketing tool, and it got me to the theaters to see it again.
Yep. It worked for me. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I'm shameless.
But it's like, dude, we went to see Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi, because hey, it's in theaters again. Who cares? You get to go see it in a theater. There's something about seeing a movie like that in a theater. I remember going to somebody's house and they had a home theater set up, and I'm like, ooh, do they have Star Wars? I need to watch the Death Star run on a theater.
Yes.
So
it's either that or Return of the Jedi, the speeder bike chase. Both of those would look great on big screens.
I didn't think about that. That you're right. The speeder bike chase. Did they do anything to the speeder bike? Well, we hadn't got to Return of the Jedi yet.
No, they didn't touch it. They might have changed color. They might have added some more, played with the sound effects. But as far as the visuals, it's pretty much the same for Return of the Jedi.
Gotcha.
The only other big thing that they did for Empire Strikes Back, Luke screaming as he plummets down Cloud City, which was weird. Like, why is he screaming all of a sudden? And then in the subsequent releases, they removed it.
There you go. They're still tinkering with this stuff years later.
The other thing that they did was there's a shot of Darth Vader now exiting Cloud City where he says, "Alert my Star Destroyer to prepare for my arrival," which I don't think many people had a problem with. I think the problem with Empire Strikes Back is that the last time we saw Darth Vader, he was on Cloud City, and then they cut to him on the Star Destroyer, and people were like, well, how did he get to a Star Destroyer? He was on Cloud City. So now they've inserted a shot where he's going from Cloud City to a Star Destroyer. And then they also use an alternative take from Return of the Jedi when Darth Vader first lands on the Death Star. They just used another shot for him to land onto the Star Destroyer. If you pay attention, you can see it's Moff Jerjerrod on the Star Destroyer. So,
jeez.
Next week.
You still there? Hold on.
The special editions, there was...
Hold on. Start over again. You broke up.
We'll save the rest for next week. It seems like we're having some tech issues.
My freaking internet is not playing along with us today.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll go through Return of the Jedi. There were some more changes in 2004. There was more changes in 2011. And then there's the final changes in 2019. So there's more to review. We'll go through that next week. I don't want to bore people to death, but I do want to say that I do have fond memories of the special editions. There was a theater in Miami where I was living at the time that was showing the special editions for free, which was weird. So my dad and I are driving, we're doing errands, and we see that the theater says Star Wars free admission today. And we're like, really? Like, what's the deal? So we go up there, we decide to turn around, and we go to the theater, and we walk up to the ticket person, and we're like, can we have 2 for Star Wars? And she's like, sure. So she gives us the 2 tickets, and we're like, okay, we've got our 2 tickets. And we sat down in the theater, and we're looking around, and we're like, is someone gonna tell us to leave because we just snuck into a theater? Like, it was all legit.
Mm.
And the crawl came on, and my dad starts teasing me. He's like, is that Star New? Is that Star New? Is that the new star? Like, what did they add here? Where's the new star?
Oh, okay.
And then we decide. So we sat through the movie. I think it was a new theater. They were just trying to get people in the habit of coming there and knowing that they're there, so they made it free. So the next day we went back and we saw Empire Strikes Back for free. So
That's awesome.
I have fond memories of the special editions because of that. I didn't have, because I'm so young, I didn't have my dad took me to Star Wars when I was 7 years old, or, Empire Strikes Back. My dad took me to see Star Wars when I was 19. No, 18, 17, 18.
No, I think, and that's what the special editions are to us, is that was our time to see Star Wars. I mean, I was old enough to see, or young enough to see Return in a theater, but the special editions, I think that was like, for me, was my time to introduce my kids to Star Wars.
Yeah.
So it does definitely, there, like you said, there is some warm or, fond memories of it.
Yeah. I mean, all Star Wars is good Star Wars. He could make all the changes he wanted. I'm still going to eat it up because it doesn't change the overall plot. Luke still has his arc. It's not like at the end he changed it and said, "No, I want Luke to turn to the dark side."
That'd be fun to see, though.
He just added blinking Ewoks.
Don't get me going on the whole in the Return of the Jedi.
Well, I never realized that. We'll cover everything next week, I promise. But in 2004 changes, he added that the Dianoga now blinks. That wasn't part of the original.
Huh.
So, I mean, like I've said before, we're living with the special edition so long now that I don't even remember everything from the original. I remember some things, but this is one of them where I was like, I never realized that the Dianoga at one point didn't blink.
Right.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool. And with that,
just want to say again, we'll have more information soon about Rogue Fun, May 4th, 2024, but keep that weekend open. It'll be a good time. I also learned that one of my daughter's friends listens to the show. He's not a Star Wars fan. He just likes listening to us chill, and he said it's relaxing. So thank you, Caden, for listening.
Hey, man.
Also, he goes by Dreyfus. So I guess whatever day of the week it is, if you're Caden or Dreyfus, thanks for listening.
Yes.
And thank you to the rest of you for listening to Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out and points people to our show. You can follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Not Threads yet, but I'm sure that's coming. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback. We'd love to make you part of our show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. Thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. Hasbro re-release VC66, hashtag vote with your wallet. Sabine will be on next month. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way.